Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and a lot of people have been asking lately, comments other places of, hey, why don't you do day of eating videos, Jason? And there's always rumors and everything online that I do it because I don't want people to see how terrible I eat, that people think I'm sitting around eating cheeseburgers and pizza and stuff all day. And people are actually asking now that obviously you're losing body fat, losing weight, why don't you do day of eating videos? So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Now, historically, I've always told people I do think these sort of videos are kind of weird. I think they're fetishized. And you guys need to remember, I used to do some cooking videos and stuff years ago back when I was in the United Kingdom before I returned home to Texas. And I used to be a lot more open about my personal life at one time. But there's a lot of other factors going on there. But I mean, even back then, I started finding out early on in the industry that it's almost fetishized to watch guys who lift eat, that it's kind of a whole genre of G for P, it's a whole genre of porn. And I always joke about the fetishized aspect of it. But that really isn't the case. I mean, truth be told, if I made videos of me eating food and I made an extra $200 because dudes get off to that, realistically, at a certain point, I'm not really going to care. Because I'm actually just making regular YouTube videos at that point, not intending them to be that way. And if people perceive them that way, that really isn't my problem. So I might joke about that stuff because it's hilarious to me. I think it's weird. I think it's hilarious. I don't get it, but hey, man, to each their own. I mean, I don't knock anybody's personal choice of the way they choose to do stuff like that. What you enjoy and what you like is what you like. I mean, to each their own. So it really isn't it, even though I might make jokes about that. A lot of it has to do with my own personal privacy at this point. And for people who have never been through some of the things that I and some of my loved ones have experienced, like of dealing with very serious stalking. I mean, some people, truth be told, a lot of people think that I am making a lot of that up. I'm really not. And yeah, that stuff affects you. It affects you in a certain way. To the point to where I've become, as far as what I do here, even though I'm in front of a camera for over a half hour every single day, I document my training, right? Doing DEXA scans. I lift with calibrated plates. You guys see literally every single work set I do. All that stuff gets put up online. All that gets put up online, but there are just intimate details of my life that, because I've dealt with extremely serious stalking, have extreme haters and trolls, to the point to where it's shocking that anyone who only has 100,000 followers would have people that dedicated to it. And there's other backstories to that. There's other motives and things that I believe is going on with that. But when you experience things like that, and a lot of you are not going to understand that, and that's okay. Most people out there are like, really, I don't get it. How come these other YouTubers don't necessarily have that perspective? And it's like, because they haven't dealt with some of that. They haven't dealt with having people who have very serious bad intentions towards you, literally looking at every aspect of your life and making it a full-time endeavor to try to find you, to harass your loved ones, to try to track your every move in the real world, not even because they're creepy fans, but because they actually have malicious intent. And when you've dealt with something like that for years, right? When you've dealt with something like that for years, an organized stalking campaign, it changes your perception about what intimate details of your private life you want to put out there. And before, I didn't mind filming in multiple rooms and stuff of my home. When I lived in the UK, even though I was renting a house there, I was renting a house in the UK. I used to film outside the garage, kind of by the garden, and do training outside. I did some filming in the kitchen. I did all the filming on the ground floor. I didn't go upstairs and film ever. Actually, I did. I even took some pictures in the bedroom, which was upstairs. It had 2 bedrooms upstairs. And then I had my little office, which was a separate living room downstairs by the kitchen. I did a lot more filming. Truth be told, because of all this stuff I've dealt with, I'm not really comfortable. Because of all that stuff that I've dealt with, I'm simply not comfortable with me filming my entire home. I give a very limited view. People have seen my office and studio. I've shown it around one time without the green screen up and the light, so that people saw that I do have a separate office at my home. It has its own closet, its own bathroom. Actually, has 2 closets and a bathroom in my office. And then you guys see that I obviously have a bedroom where my gym is set up, and there's a bed there and everything. But outside of that, I just don't want to give people a bigger view of my home, and it just has to do with my own privacy. And then there's the fact that there's the intimacy involved with food, and that kind of comes back to the part of becoming a more private person as a result of just the different things I've experienced. I've just become a more private person. I wouldn't say reclusive, because I do leave my home every single day. I go out every single day, not just walk my dog, but go to places and things. So, I mean, I get out every day, obviously. I do have friends, I do have family, and I've just become a more private person as a result of all of that. And a lot of that has to do with food as well. I mean, the way I look at it, you guys know, obviously someone doesn't have the ability like me to just bulk right up to 250 without even batting an eyelid, who's lifting 5 or 6 days a week, right? When a person lifts and squats 5 or 6 days a week and they have no trouble just gaining weight and going up to 250 pounds, it's very obvious I have a voracious appetite. And I've always admitted that not only do I have a high appetite, that I have my own emotional attachments to food that have to do with my own childhood trauma and stuff. And, and I've had to learn to actualize those things. And, when we're talking about dieting and we're talking about lifestyle, a lot of us have emotional attachments to foods. We have our own various disordered eating habits that are oftentimes related to anything from self-esteem to trauma and emotional eating, right? And so because of that, and me doing this current cut the way I'm doing it, sticking it all the way through, I'm having to really address on a deep personal and psychological level my food habits. And I'm having to spend a lot of time examining those, and I'm having to spend time breaking my bad relationship with food, because it's something that I've suffered from my entire life. And to me, because of that, my food has become a very private thing, because I know that I have emotional attachments to eating, and I know that I've historically, because of, again, just things that were taught to me in my childhood, and I've discussed that before, that I have bad habits at a deeply rooted childhood psychological level with my relationship with food. And I'm working very hard on doing internal housekeeping. And in the process of me dieting down right now, I'm working on that. And it's not that I'm not eating junk food, guys. You guys have seen me over 250 this year. I'm at 219. All right. Less than 5 weeks ago, I did a DEXA scan at 230. I've lost 11 pounds in 5 weeks. All right. You don't lose 11 pounds in 5 weeks sitting around eating junk food. Okay, that's not how it works in the real world. Not for someone like me who is obviously an active overeater. So I'm not eating anything special. Guys, I'm doing it the same way everyone else out there does who's not genetically gifted. We're not talking about the genetically gifted guys who eat Pop-Tarts and pizza and get ripped. What do you guys think I'm eating to lose 11 pounds in 5 weeks? As someone who's not genetically gifted in the body fat department. I'm eating chicken and vegetables and, lean proteins and a little bit of extra whole foods. And for the most part, I have entire days to where, like my non-training days, where I'm literally living on Greek yogurt, chicken breast, broccoli, some protein shakes. And those are some of my days. That's what I eat. Maybe a little peanut butter, some pesto sauce or Alfredo sauce on my chicken and broccoli. Right? Maybe a spoonful or two of peanut butter on those days. And even on my training days, that's more or less what I'm eating, but I'm eating fruit. I might start going out to eat more in the evenings on my training days. Or maybe towards my weekends, because I fast definitely on the weekends up till at least noon and eat mostly protein. I can probably get away with some of that. So I'm not really eating anything special. It's not like it's anything that you guys haven't all seen before. I mean, chicken and vegetables and Greek yogurt. All right. Cantaloupe, kiwis. It's not really anything special. And it should be pretty obvious when I've dropped 11 pounds, and people are even noticing now my face looks leaner. I look even thinner on camera lifting. It's pretty obvious at this point there's not anything special or magical in what I'm eating, guys. There's no magic secrets there. But by that same token, because I'm doing a lot of internal housekeeping, with my relationship with food and trying to really break those bad habits, I don't know that I want to really expose that side of myself to an audience, especially given that I have stalkers and haters. I mean, what would basically happen is people would make memes of me eating, and it would be all over the place, and people would be throwing it in my face. And I don't want to do anything that would derail me psychologically. Because, guys, you got to remember, yes, I'm a YouTuber. Yes, I'm a public figure. But I'm just like all of you, man. I mean, I have emotions and feelings, right? I'm not just a guy on the screen. It's just like all of you. You have your own problems and your hang-ups and your things that you have to work through. So do I. So do I. And a lot of that would include me not doing things that would give anyone out there ammunition to derail my progress, especially when I'm working really, really hard on breaking bad habits that I have, right? That are related to deep-seated emotional issues that I need to work through to improve myself as a person. Because at the end of the day, that's what a lot of it is about. I mean, a lot of what we do in fitness and training is about improving ourselves as people, trying to just become the best version of ourselves. And even though I'm 41 years old, I'm going to be 42 in December, I have a long way to go to be the best version of myself. I'm not always happy with the man I have been. I've even changed, this year my own spiritual views and everything else. And some people don't want to hear that. Part of that for me, I became a Christian again this year. And a lot of people can say, oh my God, I can't believe that. And that's okay. You have a right to that belief, man. I'm not going to tell anybody else what they need to believe. But I'm working on a lot of internal housekeeping, and changing my view of myself, my relationship with myself, my relationship with other people, my spiritual views, my relationship with God, all of those things. There's a lot of internal housekeeping I'm doing. And for me, food is something I need to work on. And right now, I just don't want to expose that side of myself for the whole world to see and pick apart. But I can assure you guys, losing 11 pounds in 5 weeks, I'm not eating anything special or magical that you haven't seen every other guy up here eat when they're losing body fat while lifting. Okay, there's nothing magical. All right, guys, but that's really all I had to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.